Так, всем добрый вечер. Возвращаемся, так сказать, в диско elysium. Вот. Значит, пам-парам-пам-пам. У нас сейчас ночь, и я так понимаю, мы сейчас ни с кем особо потрещать не сможем. Попробуем вернуться в гостиницу, наверное, и оставил это на кофейном столике. Что это? Ладно, неважно. Попробуем переночевать там. Хотя я даже не уверен, пустят нас сюда или нет. Мы еще там денег должны. Сейчас разберемся. Так, а вообще сколько у нас деньжищ-то? Где их тут посмотреть? Убито людей трое, кстати, у нас интересно. А где мне, простите, посмотреть, сколько у меня денежек? Где-то ведь по-любому можно. Либо я в глаза долблюсь. Видимо, я в глаза долблюсь. Но мы же какую-то мелочевку находили. Какая сложная игра, однако. Привет, Мансу. Ладно, хер с ним, разберемся по ходу пьес. А, вот, господи, вот рядом с временем. Все нормально. Разобрались. Так. Сейчас бы еще вспомнить, как отсюда дойти до отеля. Я уж все забыл. Так. Контейнер нам не нужен. Привет, Слава. Всем добрый вечер. Ну, по-моему, сюда нам, да? Жалко, тут нет какого-нибудь фаст-тревела, к слову. По открытым, типа, точкам, чтобы можно было прыгать. Было бы гораздо удобнее. Все-таки это не Skyrim, где есть смысл просто так бегать. Там... Нет, подожди. Да-да-да. Или нет, подожди. Я помню, я в прошлый раз здесь тоже что-то затупил, как спуститься вниз. Ну да, вот. Лесенка есть. Так, а тут у нас что это? Я не могу разобрать. Магазин какой-то. Цветочный магазин, что ли, или просто какая-то такая забегаловка. О, бутылки можно сдать, найс. Отлично. Меланхоличная попса.
A small cabinet on the wall is filled with various Their logo is the bloodless rose. Pure.
Just ask me if you need anything from Saint Baptiste.
Так, нет, мне ничего не надо, подожди.
We do have Nosafed, Duramine.
А, ну я понял, в общем-то, можно всякие вот эти хилки купить и бла-бла-бла, но у нас, в общем-то, все есть.
Feel free to...
What's that magazine she's reading?
I don't know. Frit? A 7 to 11 grocery store. I think they think that the extra tea makes it funky.
The story goes that normal Fritta with 2 T's, a men's workwear shop in Vredefort, was already taken.
You mean this? This is Pop Stars. It's got, like, famous people in it.
Looks like it also has something called Police de la Mode, featured on page 34. This speaks to you.
Довольно футуристично.
Her raspberry flavor. The lieutenant frowns at you before turning to the clerk with an
Okay. I'm not really supposed to be chatting to anyone, but...
Oh.
Wow. I didn't know you worked for the union, sir.
Нормально.
Anything else I can...
No, you don't work for the union. That was easy. Worryingly so.
I don't really know anything. I mean, I know it's not really. No. I didn't know him at all. I don't know really long. I don't know.
No need to worry. It's just standard procedure for...
Okay. Ага.
Понял. Так, ну теперь у нас 39 бачей, неплохо. Правда, мы, по-моему, должны что-то 100 или 150. Поэтому... Поэтому да. Надо было быть бомжекопом, могли бы, наверное, спать на улице. Ладно. Крепкие мужчины. Так, это же вот этот отель, да? Я сдал бутылки, я получил там 0,7 монеток. Так, может быть мы сможем с тобой как-то договориться, чтобы меня пустил поспать.
Can I help you? Yes, have you got it? Does that arrangement include you paying me what we already agreed you owe me?
I understand your predicament as the man. I feel I must remind you that we are here to conduct an important...
Forgive me for saying this, but your colleague seems... I mean no offense. It's really nothing personal. I just have good luck trying to use it. All the locks have an electronic component. They have to be unlocked down here with a master key. Not until you bring me the...
Okay. I might have something in my motor carriage we can use when you're done here.
Oh, Lieutenant.
Так. Кому-то парить, окей. Может, нам денег даст. Либо даст ствол, и мы завалим этого управленца. Всякое бывает.
Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone.
I have something here we could sell. Look in the back.
Transport enclosure. Regular people just call the cage at the back of the
Клеточка, так сказать.
rather uncomfortable. 4 shiny hubcaps.
I confiscated this for a little while back. We can take them to the pawn shop. There are spinner hubcaps, frivolous things you put on your wheels. When the wheels come to a stop, the caps keep on spinning. There's no real use for them, it's just for vanity. A couple of weeks ago, I stopped a young man for going slower than the speed of traffic. Turns out he was some coalition official's son and high. I don't know. Is it? I was going to take them into evidence, but they weren't necessary for conviction. He never asked for them back. No, that would be silly. I don't know why I kept them.
Это возмутительно
He
круто.
flashes a smile, barely visible in the dark.
As I said, they are useless anyway. I should have remembered I have these earlier. Yes, there's one 100 meters south of here. I think it's called Roy's Nest or something. If I'm not mistaken, it should be open late.
The lieutenant nods as you take.
Хороший он парень. Недостойным такого напарника, считаю. Нихера не стоит 200 бачей. Неплохо. Так, ну погнали в ломбард.
Is this about the questions again?
А подожди, это не ломбард, да?
She looks up.
Yes. What we...
Это не ломбард, стоп. Хотя еще похоже на ломбард, всякая херня продается. Видимо, где-то еще есть магазин какой-то. К югу от площади. Понял. К югу от площади. Ну, я так понимаю, вот эта площадь, где была эта статуя. Вот это. Блин, ни хрена не видно, надо, наверное, фонарь взять в руку, вот что. Ну, лучше особо не стало, конечно, но, как говорится, и вот так надо как-то пройти. Блин, как же она неудобно сделана, эта игра. Ну, либо это я совсем уж глупый, либо она реально очень неудобно сделана в плане, что хер поймешь, где пройти, где не пройти. Когда Майнкрафт? Никогда. Хотя не иронично, я иногда хочу в него поиграть. Вот это не ломбард случайно? Перчатки без пальцев. Сойдет. Шлюз на ремонте до среды. Какие впечатления от игры? Я помню, на каждом стриме это спрашивают. Да, вот ломбард. Но я уже говорил, что игра, в общем-то, неплохая, довольно самобытная. Мне нравится в ней, например, музыка. Мне, в принципе, ну, геймплей, в общем-то, он, ну, стандартный для такого жанра игр. Мне не очень нравится история, наверное. Я не особо фанат плохих копов. Ну, вообще такого сеттинга. Но именно с точки зрения там геймплея и все такое, хорошая игра. Я не понимаю, правда, что ее так все прям вот фанатично, ну, из того, что я слышал, нахваливают, что это прям, о боже, отрыв головы, так сказать.
You see rows of toy soldiers guarding the rest of the trinkets displayed on the table. Some on horseback. Everything you pick out seems
Естественно.
faded, chipped, and big men on big horses, clad in lamella.
Ну и самое главное, что она, мне кажется, все-таки не под формат стрима.
I used to be very serious about these guys.
Вот что самое главное. То есть в нее хорошо играть.
So we're gold
Налить себе кофейку, за это самое, завернуться в пледик
variously posed, wielding
и спокойно, неторопливо чилить в ней.
Ah, royalist soldiers from the time of the revolution.
This set of soldiers isn't meant to look impressive. A few have ripe.
You're probably talking about the revolution. I think their poverty has been exaggerated for effect. When you place them next to the royalists, it doesn't seem like they could possibly win.
Не сделали его сучки.
Maybe.
Ладно, давай закинем ему эти блестящие
Not
штуки.
often that I see. What can I do?
His courtesy is not insincere, but he prefers being alone with his projector. just watching the movement of light across the walls of the shop.
Oh no, not at all.
Who are your customers usually?
All kinds of people come through here. Locals. As you can see, I have a wide selection of goods for everyone to choose from.
Общество, ох уж это общество потребления.
It keeps me entertained.
Ну, я не думаю, да, что 28% нам прокнут.
Someone else came here earlier today asking the same question.
Опа.
What? Sold?
Блять, ну у нас точно самый тупой,
This
блять,
is a pawn shop.
полицейский в мире.
As if you've met before. Oh, the lieutenant shifts from one foot to another. Alert.
You were adamant about getting rid of it, officer. Said you were undeserving, and I don't like keeping guns around the shop for long. Off the charts photon emissions. She didn't seem like a policeman. Although she kept referring to herself as a pig. Which, truth be told, she was...
Right, so let me get this right. You sold your sidearm issued by the citizens' militia, and now a civilian is running around the streets of Martinez.
Может, она самостоятельно борется с преступностью и хочет доказать, что может делать наш. Она должна быть в
In
нахерах
that
фанаток.
case, she'll be happy to get a visit from us, if we can find her.
My apologies, officer.
A needle in a haystack. There is nothing you can do about it right now. You'll just have
Да,
to...
ну хорошо тогда, что мы согласились с этим профсоюзником.
And the union can...
Maybe. Shady-looking guys came in here yesterday. Looking like they went their way. It was a trip.
Wait, then it might be true. Everard's claim.
Maybe Claire really is tracking down your gun.
People as oleaginous as Everard seem like they're lying, even when...
Of course.
Так, давай ты сейчас
Yes,
все-таки
we'd like to
продадим.
sell these hubcaps.
Roy takes the hubcaps.
Yes. These are very, very good.
No one was defrauded or jumped, I assure you.
Of course. I meant no offense.
Озвучка еще
200
очень хорошая,
real for
кстати.
you, officer.
Приятно слушать.
Delightful.
Thank you. Here's the 100 real you need for your bill. Do not waste it.
The rest is
А, мы
for
только сотку
to
получим.
compensate for the pain of being separated.
Anything
общем-то,
else you're thinking
справедливо.
of selling?
Продать одежду. Кстати, у
I'm
меня
not
что-то есть.
purchasing any more
Ah.
clothing at the moment. Anything else you're thinking of selling?
Так. Я даже не знаю, мне что-то пока ничего, наверное, не буду продавать, но мало ли пригодится
I'm
еще.
not purchasing any more another time, perhaps.
Так, окей.
I doubt it, but I can try and answer any. I do my best to keep my distance from all my.
He doesn't know anything. No one likes to see what you have to see. The pawnbroker's
Well-
gaze is already fixed on the dancing.
Может,
Sure
ты еще
thing.
скажешь? Нет, ничего не
Sure, man.
скажешь. Понял. Благодарю.
A typical Martinez streetlight sits among assorted floor and table lamps. The light pole has been carefully cut, and this would make quite a statement in your living room.
Yes, officer. As you see, it's in
Officer.
perfect working. It was brought to me.
We are not here to investigate the theft of city property. You have to admit it's rather clever what he's done with it.
700 real.
О,
Bargain? No, it's not. He's trying to sweet talk you into buying trash.
The light has undergone 3 transformations, and
The light has been removed and rewired. That's 2.
the most important transformation is the light's placement among ordinary indoor.
Okay, that checks out.
нет, спасибо. Даже если бы у меня было 700 реалов, фонарь мне пока явно не нужен. Ладно, погнали, поспим наконец-то. А то, по-моему, наш коп скоро коньки отбросит. Учитывая, что из того, что он, по-моему, ел, это только пара таблеток, чтобы не сдохнуть. Сраный алкаш. Так, ну прибавь ходу-то, ел. Еще я не понимаю, почему нельзя поставить, чтобы он всегда бегал. И, подожди, это из-за фонаря. Нет, он просто еле идет. Может, он устал? Может, вот из-за этого? Но я думаю, что если мы ляжем спать, то оно как бы восстановится. Я не хочу тратить сейчас лишний раз таблетосы. Пригодятся еще. Ну что, жадный кровопийца, принес тебе твои деньги, иди сюда. Негодяй.
Can I? Yes. Have you? Well. Great. Perfect. I hope you enjoy your freezing
Nice.
cold room with the window you broke yourself. The electronic lock to your room has been disabled till 9. Starting tomorrow, please pay for each night in advance.
20
20
реалов.
real per night.
I'll take a room here too.
Always happy to have officers from the RCM as guests. Anything else I can do for you? Another thing. Yes.
Так, я левел пока, наверное, апать не буду. Посмотрим, может пригодится. Под какую-то проверку или еще что. Как говорится, всякое бывает. Так, вот наш номер великолепный.
This is the door to the room.
Just a moment. We should talk about our progress on the investigation.
Окей, давай обсудим. Не вопрос. Первый день выдался довольно длинным.
Is brisk.
Так, не понял.
The
А где я?
lieutenant is silent for a moment. He listens to the traffic hum. Then
Что-то я понял только, что лейтенант Сайленс. Слушай, свяжу, нагонять там молока. Ага.
Now then, we should talk about the investigation. But I also feel you're a bit hazy on the RCM. Our role. I have a cigarette every night when I go over my notes. It's something of.
oh man, he looks so devastatingly cool with that cigarette.
I apologize, but I only brought one with me. I have exactly one cigarette every night while going. You mean this? This isn't cool. It's an unnecessary trial of will and unhealthy.
Ну, вредно для здоровья, это точно.
Yes, it's been a long and eventful day. Well, you were so hungover that you couldn't keep it down but we performed a thorough search of the premises of the crime scene. That's great. We are both doing our best under the circumstances. We conducted an interview with Evra. He wasn't particularly forthcoming with useful info.
He's not saying much on the matter because he thinks you could have gotten more out of Everard.
Claire also helped you, how should I say, remember your name? That's a relief. Moving on. We didn't talk to the Wild Ones rep. We really must do that. Above all, though, today was exhausting. What's with all the running? You run a lot. Is that a standard Precinct 41 practice?
Это типа потому, что я очень много ходил, но интересно, а если бы я все быстро сделал? Он бы также отреагировал?
Alright, and forgive me, this has been bothering me since this morning. How have you managed?
Потому что ваша, блядь, игра баг паны, и у меня есть второй ботинок, я не могу его надеть.
Well, there seems to be a shoe that is a match.
He's right. There it is.
Да, да, прямо у меня в инвентаре он лежит.
Flowing whirl of wind.
Где там? Я не могу
The
открыть
sky
сейчас,
above
да?
is dark.
Imagine how much faster you could run with a cool patent leather shoe on each foot. They're quite limited, actually. The power officers of the Rebachol Citizens Militia exercise most frequently is imposing fines of up to. The RCM's primary role is to ensure safety. We are not really. Yes, although indirectly, as citizens can always. Officers of the RCM have been known to take bribes of less than the prescribed fine. We can arrest people, of course, but rather than bringing someone in directly, it's preferable to serve a station cold slip. It prevents confusion and you can't. Those who don't show up become fugitives, though, and have fewer legal rights when they are eventually caught. As you may have gathered from the fact that we are expected to carry a record of our kills, like the one in your watermarks, we are permitted. You have to supply compelling evidence for why it was necessary. Not a good position to be in, by the way. Internal Affairs handles these cases thoroughly by cross-examining you for inconsistencies. It is
Короче,
hard,
лучше просто так никого не убивать. Понял?
which is for the best. We don't convict. We arrest and send them to coalition government courts in Courron and La Delta. The prosecution works off our testimonies and records, which is why it's paramount to keep them. The coalition government and the moral intern more broadly. The RCM was formed by the coalition government to restore order in the international zone. Or perhaps it is better to say we were allowed to form. It's a point of contention whether the citizens of Revachol or the coalition government. Be sentimental if you like. Either way, the moral intern leases us the right to keep the people.
Or if they think you do.
Угу.
The Moralist International are the world's largest political organization. You know who they are. They have been running this place after the revolution failed. They're a union of center-left and center-right parties across the Real Belt. Our coalition government is just one of its many.
Похоже, эти левоцентристские, правоцентристские партии в одной организации. Кайф.
What do they believe in? They are Dolorians. They believe they continue the humanist project set forth by Her Innocence Dolores.
Those others say they continue the humanist project set forth by Dolores Day.
Interesting question. It's a blue forget-me-not. Their motto is love, compassion, self-discipline. I think
Something kind and usual. Something almost self-explanatory.
a historic figure, the author of the modern age. You will have to look elsewhere for opinions. The subject of human... The moral intern are a fact. I try not to have opinions on facts until they change. Do you?
Пешки крупнейшей в мире буржуазная организация, значит, буржуазных прав. Мигранты, либеральный кит, ебанутые мужики, которые пришли.
No. We are stooges of the world's biggest bourgeois organization, protecting the people of Revachol. That's the hand we were dealt. Then you will adore Martinez. For many of these people, the Union especially, vigilantes is precisely what we are.
The lights of the orphan district are reflected in his glasses. The red and golden orbs of the motorway sliding like the dying lights of the city shimmer below. Slowly, like an aerostatic passes overhead. The whiskers of its floodlights on the ground below.
They really don't like us here. And the mouth on that kid, Kuno. It's different. It's our fault for leaving this place to the dogs, to the Union, to the company. Not daring to come here more often. This place, we run this city. West of the river is RCM land. It's incredibly hard. Human beings are... But we are in control, and it's worth it. The organization, me too. But I wouldn't count on any drastic changes in our lifetime. Yeah, it's getting very cold now. Let's go.
Так. Может, мне как-то выкинуть можно, я не знаю. Блин, меня так раздражает этот баг, если честно. Просто кошмар. Ну что за бред? Так, а у нас там число? Сумрак. Типа вот они сделали левую-правую руку, но, сука, обувь они сделали одну. Буду босиком ходить. Нахер иду, пусть. Я в курсе, что он баганулся, я об этом и говорю. Что за хуйня? Баг, блядь, в самом начале игры, его пофиксить не могут. Утро, точно. Не заказывайте музыку сегодня, парни. Я поставлю сейчас 2 заказанных, но больше не надо.
see some lights. A mirror hangs from the bathroom wall. In it, your face.
4%, понял. Я так понял, что если вот эту срань просит, то у тебя не будет этой ухмылки. Так, ну чё, ладно. Думаю, пора ложиться спатеньки.
The bed is cold and not particularly inviting, but it's the sheets feel at once coarse and clammy against your skin. The bed sags beneath your weight.
Сейчас у нас приход какой-то будет бодрый.
Then sleep doesn't come. And then sleep doesn't come.
Почему?
It's the bed's fault. Its synthetic filling is separated into half. It barely covers your toes, stretching over your soft belly. It's a little better. Colors, scenes, and half-formed phrases still littered. Something to do with. What was it that the lieutenant said? Union, your breathing steadies. A great silence washes over you until your eyelids twitch.
Я надеюсь, это нам снится. О, это же мы. Да, нет? Похоже на нас.
Remember the scent of your childhood. You're not kidding anyone, Harry. You don't. Do you remember your wife's hand on your face? That's right, Funky Baby. And you
Funky
just
Baby.
stood there, one hand on the bottle, and the other on your dick. Tell me, where are your
О, Господи.
human beings have friends, Harry boy? Where the hell are yours? No,
I'm an artist.
gone.
I'm a performance artist.
3 times gone
I'm hired
and never
for
coming
people to
back.
fulfill their
You
fantasies.
failed Elysium.
The deep, dark
Everything.
fantasy.
The Pale and the Isola on the surface. You really dropped the ball, Harry. 4.6 billion. You're not coming back from shit. Thrashing around in it. High conduct. You're trying to walk. I can't hear you. This is just a word.
So something is wrong. Sleep shouldn't be this bad, this dry, this
Я ладно, не хочу
unnourishing.
это слушать, сори.
There's something wrong with your thoughts.
Иначе я вообще не могу понять, о чем что я читаю.
New. Time
Еще один
to
вид.
hangover. Oh yes, party boy, and it's worse than the one before. Just think of the shit you saw. Here it comes, time to go to work in the shit factory.
Труба зовет. Потрясающе.
Good going, buddy.
Ищи сил. Да, давай.
Because you feel even worse this morning than you did. You mean, why are you so tired? Too tired and down to even think? That's not really true. Your heart has finally pumped. You're too weak to say no now. Waking up is the worst part. Maybe somewhere down the line you... Speed is a potent central nervous system stimulant. It kept you... It's power, man. It's professionalism. It makes you feel like you're young. Are you sure? Ready to live as this pathetic shell of yourself for days? Basically, a week. Suit yourself. Slow, sad,
Наркотики
shelter.
сосать.
See how
Блять, главное теперь реально не сдохнуть и не отрубиться на неделю. Где, может, мы там что-то в зеркало сможем.
a mirror hangs on the bathroom wall.
Все то же самое, понял. Так, засеемся. Может, ботинки? Нет, ботинкам похуй. Слуг тюрьма. Будем ходить босиком. Будем ходить босиком. Блин, приятная музыка в игре. Вот что могу точно сказать, музыка в игре супер приятная. Ничего нам, да, это не помогло нам. Понимаю. Ну, погнали. Где там Ким живет? Здесь? Там, по-моему,
The
тут
door
девонька
is
живет.
closed. Still, you should punch a fucking hole in it.
А, нет, вот здесь женщина живет.
The murmur.
Здесь живет Ким, по-моему, да, я так понимаю? Наверное. О, тут что-то новых чувачков подвезли. Так. Ким хочет с нами поговорить. Доброго, да здорово, приятель.
Morning. Looks like we can get to work at once. The Union muscle turned up. They look rowdy. I mean ungovernable. Martinez isn't exactly enthusiastic about the RCM being here. They prefer to men who drink beer for breakfast. There's talk of an armed wing of the Union called the Hardy Boys, who are responsible for state policing. That would just escalate tensions. No captain would sign off on it. Solving, in fact, even the death of 2 detectives might not warrant an all.
He's
Well-
not exaggerating about that mortal danger. Just calmly factoring it in.
Everything points to the Dock Workers Union. The tracks in them, which may, of course, all be wrong. But we still need to... One more thing before we do. We don't have to talk to them immediately.
Yeah, streetwise. But aren't you curious?
They're in
Да, надо
the-
поговорить с ними.
They think they own the...
Я так думаю.
Can I help you? Got the 20 real?
Завтра
You
заплатим.
got the room for the night, but remember, you'll need...
How could anyone forget, asshole?
Так. Госпожа
Just a
Лена.
moment, and there's no public phones nearby?
The closest phone booth is down the coast. Sorry.
It's fine, I understand. Thank you anyway. Please don't trouble yourself about me, sweetie. I was just hoping the union office probably has a phone, but I can't really get there or to the phone booth down the coast. The manager was vague about it.
Why would he be vague?
Lieutenant Kitsuragi.
To let the young woman who's house-sitting for us know that we may be delayed. Morel, I was also hoping she'd heard from Morel. Oh, forgive me for not introducing myself. My name is Lena, my husband and...
A little missing persons puzzle might just be the thing to take your mind off the hangover.
That's just it. This isn't like him at all. He always...
A cold breeze hisses through dense thickets of reeds. Something sweet in it. Some
you have more important things to worry about. Just some field work, sweetie. Morel is a highly trained scientist. He and his... But they should have returned by now. They were just going down the
Оставил
coast
пару
across the
ловушек и
water
остались в
lock to
этих
set a few
ловушках.
traps. He said they'd be... Oh, sweetie. It's nothing like that. Gary's as loyal as they come. I trust him with my... There's a nameless old fishing village nearby, but
Ох, вот я сейчас
we've never
чихну.
had any trouble there before. There is a lot of crime.
I can't say it's the best part of town, but I wouldn't worry too much about...
Some fringe science is exactly what's needed right now. Spice up that.
Are you sure we have time to go chasing after bug hunters just now? I did suggest we play it cool, but... if you say so.
Oh, thank you, officers. Truly, I'll be right here if you come across any sign of Morel. Oh my. What happened to the water lock? Well, whatever the cause, I'm thankful to both of you.
Это было довольно просто, не знаю, что Ким
But if
переживал.
your investigation takes you to the other side of the coast, and if you see him, let him know Lena is waiting for him here at the Whirling. He gets so tangled up in his work that he may not know the water lock's been... Oh, you're such a dear. Thank you, sweetie. Surely things can't be that bad. You know where we are, right? That's right. And where is the Whirling itself located? Yes, indeed. We are in the fight. Yes. And Revachol? Oh my. How would I even begin to tell you? I haven't seen very many other cities personally, but everyone says so. Revachol is, speaking of history,
Ну да.
you know what year it is, yes? That's right, dear. How splendid. Here.
О,
Her
ну да,
relief is
ручку.
palpable. She was getting pretty worried about you. Outside, spring rain seeps into the cracks in the walls and the cobble.
I can tell that this is taxing for you, so I'll just ask one more. Oh, sweetie. It's really
О,
not.
ачивку дали
There
какую-то.
used
Ну-ка,
to be
тихо.
people who thought that way. Other people who
Политическая
wanted those
теория.
things,
Что там?
but
Главный строитель
they
коммунизма.
all went
Неплохо.
extinct. Revachol is a zone of control led by an alliance of foreign powers.
But they still have cops.
It is quite disappointing, yes. A lot of people would... Oh, dear. And you were doing so well. There aren't really any cops in Revachol, but we should stop for today, sweetie.
She's scared now. She's realized you really are brain damaged.
You were doing quite well up until the end there. It does look like you're...
A sigh. The lieutenant.
But maybe a fresh set of eyes is what the world needs. And while I'm no doctor...
She means this sincerely. Worrying won't do.
A defeat, I'm afraid. The people of this archipelago tried to build something new. It has something to do with everything. Someone more educated and...
No, I'm not an encyclopedia. I want...
Of course. Then, I don't... But thank you, sweetie. You did make me forget about my worries for a while. Oh dear. I'm not sure what... Well, his expression is slightly grumpy, but his eye...
You can't go around Revachol feeling grown men's hands. If you want to find her husband...
Oh, well, he's a bit shorter than you, but with...
The lieutenant pulls out his notebook.
One other thing, he'll likely have all kinds of field gear on. We'll be celebrating our 16th anniversary this autumn. Not the most numerically satisfying anniversary via dating agency, I'm ashamed to say. I was looking to... We hit it off and... Well...
She's skipping over some important parts. Perhaps you'll find out.
Ну ладно,
Been
ладно.
useful. Oh, sweetie, it's fascinating. But I should...
The lieutenant gives you a sideways glance.
Well, it's a phasmid.
Привиденье
Ah, yes. Phasmatodia. A diverse group of insects whose bodies resemble...
Where other phasmids imitate sticks or leaves, this one's a living reed. It's hence its name, the Insulindian phasmid.
There's a touch of awe in the way she enunciates.
To be honest, this animal sounds like a cryptid. You would...
I smell pseudoscience, he's thinking.
It's simply elusive.
Establishment. I thought so.
Well, some teenagers making out in the reed saw one. They didn't know what it was, of course, but there was a... Of course, most phasmid sightings turn out to be false alarms, but their description matched the Insul Indian phasmid. Not at all. Why else would it hide itself so carefully? Oh, I doubt it. No one gets into cryptozoology for the money, sweetie. Yes, it can blend in almost perfectly among the reeds. Oh dear.
Интересные
I'm
насекомые.
afraid I'm not explaining this very... Morel can explain it all much better.
Ладно. Так, Гарт, у меня есть пара вопросов.
Can I help you? Another thing. Great. I love... Yes, and the phone company is taking its sweet time sending someone to fix it. Who told you that? Fine, yeah. It looked like someone had messed with the wiring. It was shortly after... If you do find out who cut the line, though, let me know, so I can forward them the repair. What are you, a cook now? That's none of your business. You're not. You're a menace. Fine, okay. The kitchen is closed until... What are you, a cook now? No, you don't. If you had a warrant, you'd be shoving it in. Besides, the RCM doesn't do search warrants. I know the law.
You do realize you can just go into the kitchen at 1300. Sambo is an acronym for Samaran boxing.
Самбо.
Graceful martial arts stuff.
What are you, a cook now? And want me to make an exception for you? You're not even a hot... Fine, okay. The kitchen is closed.
Я же вроде заплатил, слышь, пес. Так, это кто? Давайте затусим с новыми чувачками.
That sugary black rum stain on the counter makes you teary-eyed with joy. It's almost touching our syrupy and stick. Sweet Lord, a whole hour.
Ром с лимонадом. Ты бил сам.
You've truly extinguished all
Янс недовольный добра.
Maybe you haven't turned out
Если
well
ты
for your
доводишь
drinking.
Янса до добра.
Have you thought about
Возможно.
getting
Теоретически,
goddamn rum and
вполне,
lemonade
вполне.
yourself, boy? Or better yet,
Нет, ничего не
what
будем
happened,
слизывать.
man? You used to be cool. Go get it would go well with those cigarettes. That's a great combination.
Сигаретку бы выкурил, а вот пить не буду. С собой поговорить не получится, да, дружок? Что тут у нас?
Let me handle this.
Элизабет.
You seem a little different today.
You are far from home, Lieutenant. That's right. I'm not a gardener. I'm a legal counselor for the Dock Workers Union.
Not a muscle moves in her face, but
You are looking for Titus Hardy, who you think has information on a murder.
Что
the
такое
RCM is
Харди,
investigating.
простите?
That's Titus. Talk to him, but know this. I'll be...
It doesn't matter if you recognize our authority.
she says nothing. Could this be the Miss Beaufort that easily
Так вот это кто?
sent to law school?
I suggest not wasting time on trivial pleasantries.
Эх ты, Элизабет, это была такая приятная девочка, перчатки нам дала.
Something moved behind her eyes. In the way she stepped.
You are not here to chat up the legal counsel. You are here to question, like I already told you. I'm a legal counselor. Do you have hearing? What you want is of no significance, officer. Don't. What are we going to do to the union isn't going to do anything to you.
Goddamn.
If anything, it is the RCM who do things to aggressive. You make your living enforcing violence.
So you were spying on us, and now you represent murder suspects.
Listen, you moral intern lackeys. You're a mob, enforcing the unlawful
Да твой бот,
privatization of
блядь,
official.
самый большой,
Fat men
разворовывается
are
из
stealing it
всего
all,
этого.
and
Что ты
you're their
несешь?
bodyguards.
Fuck yeah.
So ask what you came to ask, or get back to your commanders.
Какие нахуй социалисты? Чё несете?
Look, a comedian. Do your job.
Strange. It's as if people don't believe a cop could be a socialist.
Копы социалисты, это же круто. Так, погоди, что там у нас по мыслям? Можно, кстати, ведь мысль-то это самое разблочить. У нас есть бомжекоп, тряпкособиратель, социал-экономический мазовизм. Давай откроем, наверное, одну эту тему. Визуального анализа у нас будет на 3 часа, но я думаю, потерпим. Ладно, не знаю, пока, блин, говорить с ними, не говорить. Ну давай мы сразу с ними потрещим, чтобы, так сказать. Ну, хотя, блин, я могу что-то найти полезное до разговора с ними. Блин, даже не знаю. Ладно, хер с ним, пойдем сразу потрещим молодым.
This is where you say you're a bit.
Попроще, мужчина, попроще. Не надо, блядь, въебываться.
Detective.
Oh, this is about.
You're sure taking your time, waiting for him to get right.
Oh, he was a real pretty boy by now. Real hot stuff.
Time to go to work in the shit factory.
Так, я где-то уже слышал про говнотрубы, простите. Вы пришли из моего пьяного вреда?
Easy, boys. These.
You might want to start asking your questions.
Do a head count first. Connect these men to the tracks you saw in the yard. Starting from the right.
Блин, если бы я еще помнил, что мы там нашли.
Blonde man. Sitting on his right. Standard working boots. Size 45. Across at the other table. Hobnailed working boots. Size. He spent his youth in Villa Labos, a housing project in the Jamrock. And then, standard working boot. Steel reinforced toes. Size 40. The emblem on his vest says Rowing Club. In the far corner, standard working boot. Steel reinforced toes. Size 44. On his neck. Forget it. Let's call this one the musician. Size 41. With the light step. Not a child after. In the middle, heaving and wheezing.
Там был ведь какой-то, мы видели след, который либо жирному принадлежал какому-то чуваку, либо чуваку, который кого-то нес.
He alone is 130 kilos. Add the man in armor.
Так это точно они.
These 7 are the actors on the crime scene. The foot exactly. You've stood there for about 4 seconds. Not
The fuck is with you,
А
fella?
мы молодцы.
What are you talking about, madman? There's no 8th. Or what? You want to be the 8th Hardy Boy?
Actually, boss, we've been talking and we think she could.
she. So there's an 8th Hardy, and it's a Hardy girl.
Shut the fuck up, Glenn!
It has to be good if he won't let you pursue.
So let me get this straight. There is an 8th Hardy Boy.
That's right. We're not talking about this.
Что-то начинает не касается, ебать, я тебя допрашиваю, пес.
You're not cops here. Don't go dick.
Good. We are all watching each other. Officer?
The pretty boy. You guys
Funny. But my partner and I have a serious matter to discuss with you.
You mean these boots? We all got a pair. We wore them the night we took them.
As he speaks, his fists contract.
Yeah. We did this. Together.
There's a catch hidden somewhere. He didn't confess so that you could take them all away. It's too simple.
There is no catch. These 7 honest men have all equally come forth to tell you what happened, so that you don't waste any.
All 7 together. They're diluting responsibility. It's an
Охуцы.
anti-arrest tactic.
How many people have you sent to the Shays?
Chaise électrique is the method of capital punishment.
Or send them to Reunion to rot. For 20 years. For life.
But you see, a lawman, is something people agree upon.
У вас, блядь, тут не 7 человек живет, мудак.
We agreed that this man...
Are you deaf? There will be no singling anyone out. Do you think you could do that? Do you...
Еще как сумею.
Don't let her lead the conversation.
That's for the courts in Les Jardins to decide. What you can do right now is go
Такая
back to
хорошая
your
девочка
station
будет, это
and write a
гнида.
report.
Нет, я не еду на корову.
No, no. We'll stay here and discuss what happened that night.
You don't have to keep answering his questions.
I know, Lizzie. Relax. We killed him last Sunday night.
Known him? We don't associate with.
Yeah! Who do you think?
Quiet.
За маргиналов, блядь.
Came around about 3 weeks ago when that Pines cow first...
By the Pines cow, you mean the representative for White Pines? The shipping...
No. I mean the Pines cow. Why don't you ask her about the pretty boy? I'm sure she has interest in things.
That's enough insinuation for today, Titus. Officer, your interview is drawing to an end.
Why? Because he was worthless and he's
What kind of mercenary?
the kind that shows up when you start a strike. The experience.
A live grenade, right here in our bar.
I can't prove it, but I know he was sent by the Wild Pines.
Cause one night he walked straight up to the mic and said, I'm a...
Really?
Yeah, really. Had a gin and tonic up there, sang...
We couldn't believe it either. But he fucking did, right?
Sire, the tale is true. This is a serious violation of the karaoke code.
Wrong. He harassed women, raped one, harassed
Че-то,
workers,
бля, не верю я тебе,
threatened to
чувак.
kill some...
From rape to harassment to threats of violence. He regrets mentioning it. Hopes you didn't notice.
To kill us all if we don't open the gates, if we don't let the scabs in.
Yeah, he said it was his favorite joint now. Started to come in here every night. Drinking.
He grabbed someone?
Yeah, this girl's on the mic. A beautiful girl, young. Gets into the show me your cunt. Why don't you show me your cunt? Then, he gets knocked on the head with a wine bottle.
Aren't you fucking listening? My man.
Yeah, me and Eugene got a rap.
There's something odd here.
Да уж,
Seems like
блядь.
they don't want to talk about that rape Titus mentioned. Why not? This...
No. You're not getting the name.
There's nothing you can do for now. He's stonewalling you.
We hanged him up by his neck.
Didn't they teach you anything at the cop school?
This is where an autopsy would come in handy. You have to work with what you know.
Titus, you...
We overpowered him. Dragged his unconscious body to the tree.
Я еще пока не понял, если они все, блядь, участники убийства, почему не могу просто рисовать? Что за ебанутые законы?
Maggots, and you fucks.
Make them a bit more uncomfortable first.
Какое тут распределение ответственности, если они все это делали, блядь? Всех и посадить. Тресня какая-то, если честно. Так, а у меня левела-то нету, да, больше? Я бы пробовал, может, самообладание апнуть. Нет, могу апнуть вообще. 42. Засейвиться я не могу, да, попробовать? Ну ладно, 42, давай.
Titus is solid as a rock.
Хорошо.
And so are a few others. But Elaine, who looks like he might be Titus's right hand, this little rat-faced fellow is solid too. Him neither. Mostly keeps to his tomato juice.
Отлично.
No. Of course he's having trouble breathing. Just look at how...
Fuck off, Shanky. Angus is...
Keep your eye on this powerful guy. Sooner or later, he's going to break like...
With numbers, asshole. How do you think?
No, he hasn't. Not yet.
Weren't you fucking listening? The fucker came to our bar.
And fuck you, too, copper. Picking on Angus.
This one is a stone wall. You won't get more out.
Like what, copper?
Блин, я хочу попробовать вот это, но подозреваю, что ничем хорошим это не кончится. И засейвиться я не могу. Да, давай попробуем.
Why don't you?
It's almost an anthropological site. Watching
Not in the arresting mood.
a fearful readiness, like an elect by your side. The lieutenant keeps his hand while the little rat-faced man reaches into his sleeve. There's a knife in there. Some of the others reach for their belts.
Да, она не убьет, да, просто, то есть...
Look, coppers. I know you think you're doing your job here. But there are 7 of us, and 2...
The last thing you hear is a little murmur. Not a blast. Not an echo. No one screams. It's...
Великолепно.
More dead cops. Sad
Бля, это настолько вот на самом деле бредовая хуетень. Вы тут, блядь, не закон. Ну да, блядь, полицейские, вооруженные, у которых, блядь, огромная организация, которая решает вопросики. И, ебать, рабочие, блядь, с завода. Ну и тресня. Не знаю, мне так кажется абсолютно каким-то бредом немножко.
Detective.
Oh.
You sure?
Oh, he was...
Time to go to work.
И теперь еще прокликать всю дресню опять.
first. Connect, starting from the sitting across. He spent and then the M in the far corner. Size in the in conclusion. Exactly.
The fuck is with you, fella? What are you talking about, madman? There's no way. Or actually,
she.
Чаще и кубаны не упадут.
That's right. You're not
good. We are all watching each other. Funny. But my partner and I have...
You mean these boots? We all got a pair.
As he's...
Yeah.
There's a catch hidden somewhere. He did...
There is no catch. These 7 honest men have...
All 7 together. They're diluting responsibility. It's an anti-arrest tactic.
You don't have to answer.
I know. Known him?
Yeah.
Quiet.
By the pine...
No. Why don't you?
That's enough insinuation.
How many people?
Shares...
Or send them to Reunion to rot. For 20 years. For life.
The River Esperance Correctional Facility. A military prison run by the Coalition. Dubbed Reunion.
Rest assured, lawman. None.
Are you deaf? Do you think...
A trick question. Don't let her lead the conversation.
Who do you fucking think does?
The sweaty man turns red.
It's not the fat ass. Titus runs the Hardy Boy.
I think you got...
Yes, there are some administrative...
Why? I am.
What kind of...
The kind...
Alive?
I can't prove it.
Cause one...
Really?
Yeah.
We could...
This is a serious violation of the karaoke.
Wrong.
He regrets...
To kill us all.
Yeah.
He
Yeah. Show me your con. Why don't you show...
Aren't you?
Yeah.
This seems like they don't want to talk about...
No.
There's nothing you can do for now. He's stonewalled.
We...
Didn't they...
This is where an autopsy...
Titus.
We owe...
Then we...
Make them a bit more uncomfortable first. Titus is solid as a rock. And so are Elaine. This little him need...
No. Of course he's...
Fuck up.
Keep your eye on this. Power.
With...
No, he hasn't. Not...
What?
With
No.
Да, господи, тихо.
No, he hasn't.
And been
This one is a stone.
like what, Copper?
Nothing. Your investigation here is...
I think we're going to stick around, thanks. I've done this job for long enough to know that people don't just confess to first-degree murder.
Good luck with that. You've heard everything a rent-a-cop is gonna hear from us, real law officials. You're lucky you didn't get a beating.
Ладно, я пойду быстро перекурю, еще 2 минуты, и продолжим. Я хотел покурить. Так. Пам-парам-пам-пам. Богачи. Угу. Ну, пойдем глянем, что там с трупом. Может, мы сможем его смотреть. О, девонька там. Ее уже видели в самом начале, если это она. У нас все еще здесь, да? Не надоело, дружок?
Right, Pig. This is where Kuno plays with his little wooden choo-choo. What do you want with it? Yeah, Kuno doesn't know shit about that. That shit is beneath Kuno. Listen, listen. Kuno doesn't care about this small-time shit. Kuno could hook you up with some sweet rags. Shit like Kuno's wearing. Your size, good price. Pig, these are found modulars. Liquid, believe it, you need this shit.
These could drastically improve your chances of survival in the urban wilderness. Coach Physical Instrument endorses they will also make you into an idiot.
Whatever. Kuno was trying to help you, but you're too fat for fouling anyway, Pig. The fuck? A mug in the trash? Is this about the fucking clothes again? Yeah, Kuno sees where this is going. Kuno's got that fast brain.
I can't hear you, Kuno. Speak louder, Kuno.
Shit, that's tense. Someone's going to the beat. Kuno doesn't know who put that shit in there. And
Tell the Kuno who it was. He's curious.
Stop turning into a pig, Kuno. They're trying to get you hooked on the snitching. Get away.
Yeah, get your bacon shit away. Kuno doesn't like to be seen. Look at that fucking shit. You're trying to get fucked. Does Kuno know? Kuno's not.
It's a trap, Kuno. Don't climb it.
Dunno. Kiptas gardener used to.
Kipt is a pejorative term used to describe people of South Seminese or Erie Opagite descent.
The fuck does this have to do with the Kuno? Kuno does. Yeah, whatever. Kuno doesn't give a shit. The fuck about it? Probably climbed. Kuno was busy down the road when that. You heard Kuno? Kuno wasn't even in Martinez. Kuno wasn't. I don't know. Some fucking Mesk or I don't know. Some other.
There is no Night City anywhere. That sounds like the name.
Why you gotta be riding Kuno's ass? You haven't been. You wanna know where Kuno was? You wanna know what Kuno's been fucking up?
Don't tell him that, Kuno.
It's not fucking lame. Kuno's building Kuno's City.
Lame.
That's the name of Kuno City, bitch. Get the fuck off Kuno's back. This shit ain't about.
It's impossible to deduce what it is about.
Your test.
Get lost.
Зачем это вводить, если вы это зацензуриваете? Я то не понимаю.
The fuck do you want? Good call, Pigmeister. Yeah. Yeah, whatever. Kuno does.
There he still is, looking right through you.
Что-то, по-моему, мы все равно не пройдем.
The body below is entirely.
Ну, давай засейвимся, maybe поможет. Есть у меня в этом большие сомнения.
There he still is.
Естественно.
Again.
Every time it happens, it gets worse and worse. There's nothing more to throw up now. All that's left.
Все, я понял. Можно мне вот эту вот упогу анимацию не проигрывать?
The lieutenant.
Officer, you just need to be stronger. Learn to keep it in.
Relax. It's okay if you don't make it today.
Ну да, что там. Заново что-то значит уже. Ну, блять, наверное, тут не так много локаций, и прошел уже день, и мы идем на эту локацию и смотрим, что изменилось. Куда я должен был пойти расследовать дело с этим трупом? Я его все еще не снял. Я что хотел чекнуть, то у меня... Винтов у меня нету, да. Ладно. Ну, можно тогда сходить к этому щелчку, не знаю, который в порту находится. Эврор или как вот он, ну вы поняли, главное у них. Эти, я могу как-то бежать? Я не понимаю, он то бежит, то не бежит. Ну, побежал вроде. Так, вот этого чувака тут не было вроде. Ну-ка. Что мне расскажете? А, это этот.
Oh man, god damn.
He doesn't live in Martinez.
Easy экспа. Блин, загрузки довольно долгие, к слову. Потому что игра на SSD-шнике стоит так-то. Головомер, блин. Плюс мы же еще его квесты выполнили, да? Мы там открыли квартирку. Может, денег еще накинет. Про пистолет еще его спросим. Есть о чем с ним поговорить. Ну шо, гнида канцелярская.
Mr. Dubois, a pleasure as always. My dear Harry, there are literally millions of contain. Harry, you smooth-talking son of a bitch. Time is a precious resource.
Smooth talking. Maybe that's the way to go about opening the container.
I'm very glad to hear that, Harry. One question. You didn't actually...
He's trying to figure out if you're lying.
You're right, Harry. You only had to...
Ну, мы, кстати, заходили.
He was testing you, and you succeeded.
Now let's get down to brass tacks. It's time for men like me and you to figure out who's killed who and why. Real police work is gonna start happening now. I promise you, Harry, this is gonna be good. Racist mugs in the trash and in the apartment? You guys are just like... I have so much confidence in the ability of your organization.
Yes, yes. Do you think...
Oh, no, no. I don't...
No.
All I want is for you to succeed in your...
Oddly, it seems to be true.
Believe me, Harry, he's a nobody. Just your basement variety nobody. But he does live nearby. Maybe it's a pedantic weasel. Fascists are known to be neat freaks. I feel like a real detective right now, Harry. Am I getting...
Would he? I'm not so...
Oh, you're too kind, Harry. Way too kind. I know I'm not a real police... By now, I'm sure you've figured out who the dead man was working for. The bad guys. Wild Pines. Harry, this strike is the culmination of many, many mistakes made by the...
You mean our victim?
A security contractor? Can you imagine that? Workers standing in peaceful
He performs a motion as if spraying...
I'm talking beasts. Hardened killers from proxy wars in Yisut, Semenine, Saramoritsa, you name it. Everything they did there, they brought over here. They want to turn Revachol into a third world slum. Honestly, no, Harry, the elephant is metaphorical and so is the village. Now, I haven't personally witnessed the brutalities out there. I have the luxury of staying in my container. Yes, I'm an old man, Harry. My legs aren't what they used to be. But enough about me and my fun container. The killers the company hired, I think there were 3. One of them got downright suicidal. getting drunk, violent, a little rapey, even...
What makes you think the Wild Pines negotiator can't control them?
Harry, what you need to realize is, we dock workers are not pushovers. We got grit, Harry. This whole neighborhood does. Push us hard enough and we push back. Potentially, Harry, potentially. We got arm wrestling champions, rowing club. There's a militant wing inside the union. A group of people whose duties don't...
That sounds a bit like organized.
They're like
Похоже,
you
блин.
guys. Idealistic people who want to make sure bad things...
Again, that sounds like organized.
So these idealists killed our victim.
One day Titus Hardy, leader of this peacekeeping faction, comes up to me and says, he probably worded it differently, but that was the idea. Sure sounded to me like they killed him.
Aren't you worried we might arrest them for this?
Oh, I'm not at all worried about that. These are not the kind of men who get arrested. They're Martinez boys, tough and gritty.
Да, вот это суровые, крепкие работяги, да. Куда там против них, блять, полиции?
He places a lot of faith in that lawyer girl. Perhaps this is a tactical error. Anyway.
How do I know? Let me tell you about these people. Last winter, some poor workers in Terminal E went on a little strike. The company sent in sediment as these guys turn up and start beating people. Tell you what, Harry, I wouldn't be surprised if we got the same mercenary company.
So you believe the scabs were organized by the security contractor?
You said it. Hell, one of those guys looks big enough to take down that proverbial elephant.
That does sound quite unlikely, yes. The big guy leading the scabs at the gate is colossal.
Так тут можешь выяснить, что это не диктатура
Oh,
пролетариата.
Liz is a bright one. I paid for that law degree myself, thinking it'll probably turn her all fancy. But hell, Harry, she came... Oh, they are simply fine young men, all 7 of them. Exemplary. Old Theo used to run them, but things really kicked into gear when Titus took the...
Interesting. Who said...
They're almost all of them great guys, born leaders. Work with them. Hell, interview them. But don't fight them. They really are just...
He's betting on them being useless to you.
But of course, it's the least I can do for my good friend. Also, Harry, here's 5 real. Oh, I wasn't offering it to you, just holding it out there. But I'm willing to share information. Was it a good talk? I'm not sure we made much headway here. I was hoping we'd bust... I don't know what happened, Harry. I wanted you to feel like Mr. Martinez. And of course, I also wanted you to find... Yes, Harry. It's like I can't fully trust you if you're not...
A man of the left. So you have to be... He's been hurt too much in the past by men who aren't social democrats.
You're saying it, but I don't believe you. You know how it is, company...
And what would this entail?
Once again, I require nothing unethical or illegal of you. You just need to get 2 little signatures on this piece of paper, and then mail...
It depends. I don't think what we just got from Mr. Cliff...
As I said, it weighs on me heavily. But once we get really talking, well...
He's saying as little as possible, as vaguely as he can. Deliberately.
I'm glad you asked, Harry. The Union is going to build a modern youth centre in Martinez. There's a nameless little street on the coast with some old houses around it. Most people have already signed. I just need 2 on the coast, Harry, across the canal. There's a cul-de-sac there, a little village there.
Water drips from the eaves. A woman looks at her freshly tarred skiff.
They are just going to have to deal with the construction noise for 6 months, and then...
Is he absolutely sure the tenants won't be thrown out in the...
Am I? Harry, these people... Martinez is the most important... We're going to build a youth centre there. The value of their properties goes up, and kids have a place to play in. I'm looking out. You bring joy to my heart, Harry. Such a... You need to get signatures from Isabel Sadie and Lillian Carter. The cul-de-sac is right past the pawn shop and across the canal. I hear there is some trouble. Once you have the signatures, mail this to 13022 La Rocca in La Delta. Then I'll... Most certainly, Harry. By all means, Harry. See you soon.
Так, ну среда-то ёптать только это самое.
You take the legal documents out of the envelope 12 to 40. There is no loophole. The simple truth is the current residents are going to lose their street access, and for the once the construction starts, it'll probably take a few months, a year maybe, for even the most stubborn occupants to get tired of.
I should have seen it. Evrard probably has eyes on us, but we could try to get other people to sign this instead of those listed. Or you could forge. However, we'll need access to the coast before we do anything. Evrard won't believe you got villager signatures if you can't even get to the village. You can try forging.
The youth center cuts into the ocean like the bow of some great modern ship. Apparently, it's going to be awfully close to the already existing buildings. Almost. This is either an ominous or cool architect. My money is on cool. You take the legal doc.
И то есть это мы оставляем до среды. Так, а что у нас еще есть? Авторитет, правда реальности. Ну, пойдем, наверное, просто посмотрим, может, мы с кем-то еще новеньким можем потрещать. Нужно искать богатых чуваков и у них спросить про историю нашего мира. Ну, по крайней мере, это, мне кажется, нужно сделать. Так как я пока не знаю, что нам еще сделать, будем заниматься этим. Ты мне вряд ли что-то новое скажешь, да, друг? А нет, смотри.
It's like Lady Larice said when she opened a bathhouse in the basement of my apartment building. Sure, mister, absolutely. I'm always willing to...
Понял. Еще нового нам не скажет.
You're back before the cargo container. Its draw has not lessened since you were last
Дверь
there.
открыться.
If anything, it seems to have. Why are you even trying to open a door with rhetoric?
Because what wasn't an option? Now is not the time to get feel.
Шиза. Интересно, территорию как-то максимально прокачать, типа рандомить, там можно было говорить, дверь открыться. Подозреваю, конечно, что нет, хотя от разрабов, наверное, можно все что угодно ожидать.
Your race descent. I am not the first line of defense. I am the last.
You pick up on something artificial in his tone, like he's putting on an act. This is.
Fine. They have find out for
Interesting.
So, how'd you like our...
You've been in there, he means. Talked to the boss man too.
It's but a rest area on the path leading across open plains. Right. You talk to the boss, eye to eye, like men of the plain. If you have Los Ardis, they're an independent militant group. They're sort of like you. Preserve the rule of law and all that. Except, yeah, the janitor who gave me the key to his apartment said the guy's a bit of an asshole. Yeah, it would be really bad if we got into an argument about it. Waste of a good noon.
В книжном магазине продают карту. Карта не нужна. Зачем мне карта, если я и так, типа, плюс-минус ориентируюсь?
A lorry stuck in the traffic jam. The windows are clear.
Oh, plus
They've
level.
been recently washed. You can see a lorry man. The driver has adorned his space with a substantial collection of peculiar. The back end of the cabin has a small perch to sleep. A book with ragged edges catches your notice. The front cover features a lot.
Racist nationalist paraphernalia. Not unusual in this. Likely, yes. This guy.
He was acting tough before. This probably scared him a bit. Who knows where?
Looking for something on? No.
Ну. Так. Ну погнали, сходим к этому самому, наверное.
The worn and beaten.
We can sit on benches after we.
Сходим к этому самому. И вот можно с этими чуваками поговорить. Их вроде раньше не видели. Первый день.
Life doesn't need to be. I'll be with you in a moment, officer. Let me.
Have you no shame? Whining about your back every time you bring out the measure.
René, you're a man with a fork in a world of soup. Please.
I'm trying to, but you keep breaking my concentration.
These manly men are playing balls. This is a ball. No, you got this. There's the ball.
Так, 83, давай.
You are immediately surprised by the ball's
Right.
lack of weight.
Почувствовать
The
шар.
cold metal ball is surprisingly smooth against your neck. It has a pattern on it. Already, your muscles are adjusting to. A chilly breeze ruffles your hair as you stand there, feet firmly planted. An embodiment of pure motion. A fine tune.
Как мы хороши.
Merde! Bordel de merde!
A whorehouse of shit. It wasn't whorehouse of shit. The shot was at least 20.
What the hell is your problem?
Что еще не слабо правый трицепс?
Care if you are a cop. You do not just ruin someone's game. You vandalized our game, son. We can't play pétanque with 5 bull. Yes, pétanque. You
Take it easy, René. This is.
Of course there's harm done, you orange slug. You are as a goddamn bull. Good. Mistakes are forgiven. But men at least.
Yes. Why did you? You never know. He might know something.
Yes. The Debardeurs Union pays me to stand. I'm an old man. Don't sleep more than a few hours every night anyway, and money is tight. She is.
The lady is Jeanne-Marie Beaulieu, and she sure as hell wasn't a nobody.
Yes, it does. Unfortunately, I wasn't working that night. No one. The bus has been on.
No one has been guarding the container.
Yes. It's.
Look, officer. The container yard doesn't actually need a guardsman. Never.
The possibility of someone being in there is enough to discourage any ill-minded.
Evrard created this job for René because he knows the Royal Carabiniers' pension of honor and PTSD isn't something a man can live off. A decorated Kingsman collecting tear reflects bad on the whole neighborhood. His words.
Can we conclude the topic of my guard boost now? Yes, yes.
Like I said, it would be up anyway. Unfortunately, I don't. And like most of the locals, I have no qualms. In Martinez, the union is the law. So can you really blame? Cop is a pejorative term. I don't have a problem with policemen.
He doesn't know about the crime. Your time is better spent discussing politics.
I'm confident they are indispensable with regard to all the paperwork and other administrative duties. But you must agree that nature, in her infinite wisdom, has made men more fit to perform certain, more challenging. No reason to even feel bad about that. It's just the way. Ah, yes! King Philip.
Oh, absolutely. At the mercy of a cocaine.
A superpower, feared and
Связь
respected.
биржовая.
A testament to what this
Да.
country can be under the leadership of a true king. Someone who decisively, without fear of offending the sensibilities of the frail and weak-minded among his subjects. This is something a nation is only as strong as its leader.
Don't get started on that again. What happened?
The Carabiner doesn't reply, but
Oh, old Philip was a big fan of the purple nose candy. The nobility loved some.
You can't even take responsibility for yourself. How could you? That's why the Philippian kings use cocaine for clarity of vision to aid in their work.
Of course. Clarity of vision.
Philip III was even brought into this world with the help of cocaine. The court made it administered.
he's just making excuses for the king's habits, isn't he?
From what I've seen of the officers of the LCM... right. Yes. The terrain here provides an interesting variety to a familiar game. No. It was left by... Why what? Because that's what happens when communists hijack your country, execute your supreme leadership, and turn your capital into a slaughterhouse. Commies, communists, socialists, anarchists, call them what you like. They just chose the name to feel special. Sadly, no. It was the foreigners who brought them to the...
Ну да, да.
Like they did with their suicide sex cult propaganda and mad anarchist women strapped to shrapnel bombs.
It was probably a bit more complicated than that.
Because this place is a damn beachhead. Had to soften the commies up first. Yes. The military coordinated amphibious landing to take back Martinez was used as one of the 3 footholds in Revachol during Operation Deathblow in 08. The other 2, this here is Blood Ground, where coalition boots first made landfall and cleaned those rabid dogs out.
Blood ground. You got old René going there. Like him.
Don't get me wrong, officer. I hate those foreign dogs.
Ну, естественно, классика.
The enemy of my enemy and all that.
Наше быдло и их, так сказать, иноземные псы меньшее зло.
Damn right, son. They like the fire of...
He approves of this radical approach.
The rest of the city got cleaned up, but Martinez they keep as a mon...
Well, it's your own damn fault. You, we, the coalition, Revachol.
You don't even begin to truly understand the players on the table.
Thinking men have opinions on these things. Present one.
У них просто не понимают, как работают деньги.
Preposterous! Surely you don't mean it. I'm just sorry it had to be them. After I would have preferred if the Right Honorable King Guillaume returned through Revachol, or even if Sabda. Instead, all that is just, holy, and beautiful in the world was wiped away, and now it's neon signs. This is just what the commies wanted. This was the plan all along. This is... It doesn't. That was 100 years ago. Damn Frisell. He was the king we couldn't protect. The Carabineers failed him, and the crown. He died in the hands of the...
He slouches as he says that. It makes him smaller, admitting that.
A true king in both blood and mind. Let Revachol be...
Some manner of self-deceit is present in his thinking. Sound.
This was Reign is the king! Has everyone forgot? It's no use talking to you. You were still in Daddy's balls when it happened. when we took our last stand against the filth and rode the cavalry straight into gunfire.
Блин, я не знаю, самообладание еще может апнуть. Ну давай попробуем. 28, правда. Понял.
You observe is a veteran refuse.
This is the uniform of the Royal Carabiniers.
Don't you mean Freestyle the Fan?
You do not speak his name, Craven, although he was a clown.
There's something you missed.
Потом-то потом.
Magnesium. That's what you're lacking. Yes, and it's critical. Look at yourself. You're practically maggot sideways. What are you talking about? You need to maggot up. You've probably had 2 heart attacks. Yes, if you want to live, you need to evolve. You need to ascend the carpet.
Магниевая форма жизни. Сколько у нас еще будет учиться? 76% уже неплохо.
You see a Samaran street vendor surrounded by a motley The name Sileng is embroidered.
Happy shopping, officer.
Всё круто.
Everything's cool.
From out on the bay, a cool wind.
You're very cool.
Very
Feel a
cool.
twitch in your index fingers. There's a finger shootout brewing.
Давай, выхватим их. Оба! Пау-пау.
Don't shoot, officer. Have we got an arrest here or just a shakedown? Of course, I'll come
Пальцы
quietly.
пистолеты.
Perhaps I could convince you to arrest some of my wares, officer. With your money,
Риторика. Давай.
No need to dress this one up. Just tell him what you...
Oh, okay. But why, officer? Ah, yes. Money is...
Are you trying to ask for a bribe?
Sorry, detective. Only the coolest goods in Revachol. I've got sneakers, speakers, extremely comfy packs. I'm an entrepreneur, officer. I've got sauces. Good joke, officer.
You glance around the decrepit buildings.
Еще бы,
It's beautiful. Beautiful freedom.
It is, yes. Anyone can set up their
That's right. No permits, no bureaucracy. That's why this city...
If you wanted to be cynical about it, you could say we are here to protect the
My man, officer, you make all this possible.
Gossamer is a fine, filmy substance consisting of cobwebs spun by small spiders, seen especially in autumn. It's safe to say he's referring to the mere absence of regulations.
Yeah, cool ruins. I get to sell quality goods like these by cutting.
You're pretty sure you can live in a tree elsewhere too, but he...
No need for discounts at ceilings, officer.
But did he first mark them up 100%, just so that he could...
My man, you know how the game is played. You ain't anything for you. Me? It's a boring story, officer.
This man probably comes from Seaguy, sometimes known
Абрикосовый
as the
сюзеренитет.
Apricot Suzerainty
Какая прелесть.
Archipelago. Apricot Suzerainty calls to mind an era when the Seaguy archipelago was colonized.
Very cool. I admire your awareness of our intertwined histories. It's super nice of you to apologize for colonialism. But if you say so, officer, I don't worry too much about politics.
Белый мужичок.
There's a pile of cheap sunglasses.
You like sunglasses, officer?
Stylish shades, huh? They'd be even more stylish if you paid for them. These are all boring. Those UV stickers are almost certainly just there.
Ну, у нас очки есть уже, нам не надо.
First-rate sunglasses. Premium design, super material, very cool.
No luck. All you find is this lime-colored cellophane visor.
Не везет нам сегодня.
Hey, at least it might actually offer some protection against the sun. Not.
I hope not.
You don't like it? Sure, Square Joe. No
Плюс
problem.
1
Let's get you
восприятие.
some real shades.
Пока нет, дружище. Хотя восприятие плюс 1 звучит неплохо, если придется сражаться с кем-то.
These are premium class.
How about some premium class service over save the economy? That sound.
Haven't you heard, officer? We've got to be economically conscious. Recycle your cash, keep it in circulation. Look around, officer. You see all these premium goods just sitting there? No. Is this really the economy we want to leave to our children?
Мигранты, ну...
That's the spirit. We've all got to do.
You find your hands deep in tattered and
Economical, but also trendy. Look firsthand.
something cold grazes your hand. Synthetic and
Ветровка.
sleek. Practical, and yet it may deaden your...
Good choice, officer.
Ну давай.
Mega sporty.
Ну хотя...
And it's only 450 for you.
Хотя самообладание, кстати, может пригодиться. Там много для него проверки. Когда возьмем. Пока ставить не будем себя. Ну так, чисто на будущее. Если где-то понадобится самообладание, можно будет переодеться. Что я и так в него достаточно поинтов закинул. Так, ты кто?
A couple of indicator lights.
А, шлюз,
This
точно.
panel usually closes the water lock. Turning it, you pull the lever all the way up. Nothing happens. A spring brings
Думаю,
the
нет
lever back
смысла
to its original position.
трогать его до
Because of
среды.
their assign-
Good morning to you,
A burly man hangs out by the water lock, carving up a generous serving of salami with an old hunt.
My friend Barry the Butcher is stuck on the other side of the waterlock. I'm keen.
From the corner of your eye, you see a man in a yellow shirt.
Very good stuff. Anything I can do for you, officer? I wasn't here to witness it, but those look like tire tracks on that sign. Too bad it also takes a year and a day to repair anything around here. Especially a water... It's supposed to operate the water lock, but as noted, safety measure. Turns out the panel needs a special key. It'll be restarted on Wednesday morning. You want to do the honors when the time... Great! Just drop in on Wednesday if you want to see the water lock at work. They say the canal crew... Well, there's the fishing village, an abandoned fish market. Yeah, not really much else. Just... Oh, sure thing. Want some too, officer?
Why not?
Ну, перекусили солями неплохо. Так. Нам все еще нужен кто-то богатый и образованный. Но я что-то не могу найти таких людей. В этом, блядь, гадюшнике. Так, ну это мы все видели. Есть тут что-то новое? Синди череп. По-моему, ее не было.
I'm Cindy the fucking Skull. What else do you want to know? Date of birth, blood type, the last time I was tested for and here I was trying to be polite. Just can't.
She nods disdainfully toward the woman performing hatred, disgust. It's difficult to tell. The woman on the boat does not notice her stare.
Так, женщина на яхте выглядит, кстати, богатой.
Ozon is an archipelago.
Probably the Wild Pines rep. We should talk to her. She's a professional negotiator, though. I have the feeling she will... You should take the lead. Ask her unexpected questions, you know? Do your thing.
Good idea, piggies. Run along now. Can't you tell? I'm painting a... I haven't really started it yet. I'm waiting for the right words. Have you ever tried your hand at graffiti-o? When faced with a blank... We rarely see pigs round here, though. Just union cads. And my name's not Mona, so... This place is severely lacking in havoc. I thought I'd mix it up. You know, summon the... Yeah? Thanks. I'm sure...
She means the opposite.
I ain't no snitch, pigsty.
Actually, there is a shortage of people who talk to us in a normal...
We weren't put on this earth to... Watch your back.
Какие добрые ребята тут живут. Однако ж. Ладно, пойдем поговорим с этой теточкой. Посмотрим, что она нам расскажет.
A striking woman leans against the cabin top
Действительного
of
вида.
her sailboat,
Так.
smiling as you approach. Her green raincoat glistens with droplets. A silk scarf is tied around.
Good morning, officers. I'm Joyce. Joyce L. Messier. I represent the board of Wild Pines, the owners of the harp. Peyton, my maiden name. I'm glad to see you here. I was dispatched to handle a strike, not a lynching. Anything I can do to assist the...
That is good to hear, madame. My colleague will take the lead on this interview. I should let you know that...
There's a trace of irony in his voice. It happens quicker than a shooting star. But did the lieutenant just...
Well, interesting. I wish you a swift recovery. In the meanwhile, you have my... Why, yes I am. Of course there are. We're on an archipelago. How else are you supposed to get a... Yes, we are. We are on Le Caillou.
Вот идет озарение. Прекрасно.
We are. And the city of Revachol is on the island of Le... I haven't seen anyone else drive a souped-up coupe.
Actually, that motor carriage has been specially issued. It's for crossing long distances in a...
Neither is this. A toy, I mean. It's a machine for crossing long distances in the bay.
You need to make this lady admit she's only riding around on this boat because she's rich. Why what? Stop thinking. Take her down. Have it your way.
The boat? No. It is called Cor de Lady. It's a pleasure craft. A 19-pacer. It also happens to be rated for my sloop. I like it a lot.
I'm enjoying this part of the interview. It has so little to do.
Officer, I assure you...
The crowns of her teeth are porcelain, white as the boat's hull as she... Qualified pleasure craft operator. So charming.
I just renewed its safety inspection last month, officers. It is completely seaworthy. In fact, it's taken part in not one, but two... The other time, I would have finished the race were it not for an urgent work matter.
Actually, you don't. The Wayfarer Act specifically denies the RCM the authority to demand anyone's operator license.
The Wayfarer Act is one of the few pieces of legislation governing human interaction. It's one of the foundational laws in Revachol, designed to limit the authority of local It's a law that keeps Revachol what it is, in limbo.
No need to politicize this. You may still ask for the lady's passport.
Of course.
The woman is silent, smiling while the waves lap. The Republic of Vespa, formerly the Republic of Vespa Messina, was once a dual kingdom. An amicable, the woman, born in the year 3 in the commune of Revachol, smiles at you.
Yes. But Joyce is much more efficient. My husband is.
I have dual citizenship. A Vespertine is handier when traveling.
She nods and returns the plastic bag to her.
Good. What we do? I'm afraid
There was a touch of discomfort there. She wants to merely
the Pines' core competency is logistics. Container shipping, and that is the terminal. Another subdivision deals with energy.
The Wild Pines Group is one of the original Revacholian Indo tribes. Companies awarded royal monopolies by the king, the suzerain himself, Son Baptiste, elysium, an unknown.
Why, thank you. I'm not at liberty to discuss the company balance sheet, but I can tell you that last year, the company booked 20 billion is a large number, but the conglomerate employs 72,000 people. They all need a conglomerate the size of the Wild Pines is like a shark. If it stops moving, it will die. Then what becomes of those 72,000 families? It's a they started as an exploration and cargo fleet conducting trade between the Samaran and Insulindian Isolas 250 years ago, when pine ships explored the South Seminese and charted. Centuries of care, deliberation and madness have gone into this endeavor. Vessels pass through the great you know more than you let on. Certainly it helped, but most of the original Indo tribes have failed. Or you mean aside from being the terminal's legal owners, who are responsible for moving 8% of the world's cargo? We built this district.
We. There it is.
All the best parts of it. Rue de Saint-Ghislain, with its bastions. Before Martinez was swallowed by the industrial harbour, even before it was part of Revachol, a company getaway, for a weekend or a summer holiday. Then came the revolution. But that's another matter. Everything. Right up to, but not including, trade secrets. I believe the official title is Senior Labour Negotiator. In practice...
And how are the talks going?
They're not. That's the problem. The union stopped...
Wait. She just admitted that the lynching...
Now they won't even let me into the harbour. There's a 2-metre 20... Yes. Jean-Luc Measurehead. Yes, I believe there is a connection. But that's a sub... Let's say I was not making the kind of progress I'd hoped for when I...
And when did you first arrive?
I arrived 3 weeks ago. Yes, in the middle of February.
But the strike began in...
I wasn't the original negotiator here. I took over after Mr. Gaumont hit a wall with Mr. Clare, the union.
This isn't the first time the union has gone...
Heavens, no. There have been 2 prior strikes. Both times the union won significant concessions.
Ludicrous, even. It's meant.
Mr. Clare told him to... fuck off, midget. Gaumont is short of stature, you see. Yes. Keep in mind, this is a negotiator. Mr. Clare has worked... There are leaflets everywhere, and banners. Every worker, a member of...
Most of the workers probably don't know what that means.
Then you might also like their other slogan. Personally, I don't think it has the same pizzazzo as every worker, a member... It's quite simple, you see. Every time the Wild Pines Group makes a decision about what, just so you understand, this is but one of 22 terminals owned by Wild Pines. Essentially, not only are they kings of the company, that may well be. It's not up to me to decide who... I'm not sure. Naturally, I assume that was just their opening position, a hard-nosed tactic with a side of mockery. But there's been no follow-up, just the same nonsense. And now, people are getting lynched, I hear.
Excuse me, from whom did you...
I first heard it from the boyar at the gates. The one whose very name advertises his...
This checks out. No, wait. The chief negotiator heard it from a man at the gates. Surely the Wild Pines Group has more effective channels of...
The scabs? You mean the huddled masses of Jamrog?
Don't let her answer it herself.
If these strikebreakers were organized by Wild Pines or its affiliates...
It's implied. She's open to discussing this matter.
Everard Clare is a man of the utmost integrity. Of course not. Everard is fantastically corrupt. I imagine he has a thick... He is the most corrupt individual I have ever seen, and I deal with men like him for a living. If there is anyone more venal, have you seen him? Edgar looks exactly like his brother, except for that lazy eye. He also talks it's how they circumvent the term limits, you see, with a funny little switcheroo. While in office, they've embezzled The Débardeurs Union was once a perfectly normal institution. 20 years ago, anyway. Organized labor at its best, as they say. Then something happened in the local chapter elections. The brothers Claire...
A mob. The Débardeurs are a crime syndicate. Sad as it...
Refreshingly honest, officer. The company... And your opinion, detective, if I may ask. I'm a curious and talkative person, you see. Indeed. And a hungry one. Sadly, Wild Pines have cooperated with what amounts to a crime syndicate for 2 decades. However much you feed the leech always hungers. I'm glad you asked. There was a woman...
Disappeared?
Yes. On the last day of the local chapter elections, her daughter phoned...
This forewoman, her name?
Sadly, the company records do not even give a name. She's just forewoman in private correspondence. Holly, indeed. The company suspects foul play, but there's nothing they... The point of the presentation is, these kind...
Thank you for your concern, ma'am. We'll be just fine.
Of course. How else can I help? You have? And how did you like Mr. Clare? Oh, come on now. He has his uses. Corruption. That's how...
The position of my unusual colleague does not reflect official...
Of course. And I don't expect you to share anything he told you with me. How could I stop you? Are we not human? Are we not curious?
Intellectually speaking, it would be quite interesting to hear what she has to say about these things.
Sounds like he has you running errands, detective. A well-established dominant. Ah, yes.
With longing. Clear and simple longing.
A youth centre with Edgar Clare's statue on top. Go ahead. Help him. Make it so. I have no power to... I should be. In my youth, I had a brief dalliance. He's probably dead by now. Even his shack is long. Yes, I was slumming it with some girlfriends of mine. We had boats. Not overly so. It's not like this was the only place we visited. We told ourselves we were the worst thing to happen to the... Yes. I'm sad I'll never have the time to take...
She is more defensive about it than you.
Full of ghosts and ancient memories. Has this errand... A referral, you mean? I take it this was for someone in the RCM. Don't answer that. Oh my.
The lieutenant does not say anything, but you hear the nylon of his jacket.
That's good to hear, detective. Please...
Her bartering mind cannot fathom that you didn't ask.
Frankly, what was done was not pretty at all, but neither was... I advise you to be very selective with what information you choose to share. This may have consequences beyond our line of sight.
Yes, that's the talk about town. The Hardy Boys. They're... Misinformation. This is all because we haven't shared info. Hurry up on that probe. The moment you tell me you're finished at the traffic jam, I will gladly...
She must really want you to look into the drugs. Otherwise, she'd tell you.
I wouldn't have taken Everard for a saber rattler. Was he...
No. It was more like he wanted things to get worse. In secret, of course.
Or he wants you and me to believe he's...
There's always that risk, man. But if I may... He means it.
I'll think it over, detective.
Have I underestimated the Union's ferocity?
What you've said is quite enough. You've given me a lot to consider. And may have helped me prevent this conflict from... Of course, detective. Just until then, is there anything I can help you with? Quite a few things, I'm afraid. The information I'm to share with you includes sensitive trade secrets. For the sake of my employer, I have to ask for your names and badge numbers.
Of course, ma'am. We should have introduced ourselves. And this is my colleague from Precinct 41, Detective Dubois.
Oh, and what happened to yours, Detective? I see. So, are you saying you lost your badge during the course of this episode? Oh dear.
She must have been suspecting.
As I said, ma'am, his technique may be very unconventional.
Of course, I sympathize, but I'm afraid I simply can't.
She's a professional negotiator. She should be open to some sort of mutually beneficial arrangement. She's an negotiator. Just float a favor as
I will be frank with you. If I'm going to break protocol, I need to be able to justify it.
you're in, but expect to.
Reports from inside Terminal B suggest it's a hub for the local drug trade. This is an open secret in Martinez.
They're profiting from this trade.
The company has tried looking into this matter before, to no avail. Perhaps, or you can recover your badge.
Detective, a word in private before we continue.
Mazovian socio-economics. 0.000% of communism has been built. Evil, child-murdering billionaires still rule the world with a shit.
Замечательно. -1, левый вариант ответа, 4 очка. Вот что такое левый вариант ответа? А хер его знает.
This is not going quite as I hoped it would. Honestly, I was expecting you to use your unorthodox technique to keep her off balance. And you know, this woman is running circles around us. She might have known about your misplaced bag.
Maybe this is all her plan. She might have heard about you.
No. If there is reasonable suspicion, we must investigate. Otherwise, what I propose is, we ask her, then we investigate, briefly. But do not share the outcome of this investigation with her. We tell her it's done and demand. I wouldn't go that far. Her reaction did come off as sincere to me. I think she's just quick to adapt. Oh, that would be fantastic, but do we have the time? The world is large.
The situation might have changed drastically.
You could request a new.
You're back.
Левый вариант
Good.
это... А, я
May I help
понял,
you
о
with?
чем речь. Забавно.
It's quite straightforward. Someone is using Terminal B to smuggle raw
Ingredients for what?
meth and dextroamphetamine, GBL, and various synthetic psychedelics. Yes, after they clear the terminal, we lose track.
Wild Pine seems to be well apprised of the local drug trade, ma'am. Do you mean to say the union also produces the product?
We're in logistics. It's our business to know. And no. As far... Yes, but you won't get anything out of Evrat and the Dock Workers Union.
The handoff. The motor lorries at the roundabout.
Precisely. Someone needs to move the ingredients
Можно
from...
будет потрясти, да, там работяг.
Stranded like beached whales at that.
Perhaps you've noticed that a number of lorries are tangled in a traffic jam at the roundabout just now.
Расиста того,
To view the
например.
drivers who are still hanging about, I'll be explicit. If you find this driver...
Uncovering union secrets could also give you.
We did. On more than one occasion.
We know the company has launched its own probe into the union's alleged involvement.
Well, here's your chance, officers. No. We asked East Motor Track to raise the drawbridge. This is a limited time opportunity. Once the complaint has been... Thousands of liters of raw ingredients will pour onto the street.
Well, at least this solves
What is that, Lieutenant?
why I had to call East Motor Track and beg them to open a drawbridge for me. I'd wonder.
I am sorry for the inconvenience, Lieutenant Kisaragi, but we need them trapped here. This is a unique... The two might...
Or not. Though, if you have evidence.
As eager as I am to share it, Lieutenant, once the... How do you think they're financing this strike? There are thousands of unpaid dock work.
There was a shakedown of local businesses preceding the...
With all due respect to these desert cacti, the contents of a few cash registers cannot provide for 2,000... Precisely. Smuggled out of that very gate at night, most likely. Then loaded onto lorries and driven to Jamrock. You simply need to find one drive. Yes? Excellent. According to my reports, there are at least... It may come to nothing, or it may just blow the case wide open. I can... In the meantime, let me know if there's any other way I may be of assistance. This... reality.
Yes, an experimental side case.
Ah, yes. The episode.
Don't be phased, madame. He functions perfect.
We may be here a while then.
Alright, we're in. I know these all look good, but begin with the first, okay?
Well...
We're in Martinez. A casual term of endearment popular among the 50-plus crowd. Aren't we all?
She refers to your corresponding ages.
Martinez is a district of Revachol. A very small district tucked away near... You would be excused for not knowing about it. Unimportant, they say. It's not really a sea, it's the Bay of... Yes. We're on an island in an...
Known to the early Revacholians as Les Immensités.
I'm not a good ambassador. I've only been here... As I told you, Martinez used to be a province. A workers' resort before the city swallowed it and the artillery did its part. Now, Caillou, as you already know. Imagine a pebble.
It is clear this pebble is of and to humanity at large.
Revachol? The great kind. History detective. They built this city to resolve history. The nations of the Occident, or migrant workers from Seminine and in the DeLorean century. 300, you see, it's where the terrible questions of our time will be answered. By that I mean, conflicts. We are standing on a fertile, self-sufficient island, able to sustain up to 200 million people. Oh, we're quite a way off. About 22 kilometers from the center of the world. That's so...
Silence. She lowers her hand. The water, the light. There is no recognition. Only the immensity of the sea. She observes your eyes scanning the horizon. Then this is one thought you need to complete.
Was there something else you wanted to know? I remember...
This has been informative. Thank you, ma'am. Might I suggest not asking them all right now? Ma'am...
Absolutely. My commitment here is...
It's better
No,
not.
okay.
Indeed. I'm always at your service. Glad to have been of assistance. The little... Of course, detective.
Так. Ладно, давайте, наверное, на этом пока закончим. Надо будет все это дело переварить. Спасибо всем, кто был на стриме. Если вам понравилось, подписывайтесь на YouTube, Twitch, группу ВКонтакте, заглядывайте в Discord. Мы услышимся с вами завтра. Завтра пораньше стрим начнется, я думаю, часов 6-7 по Москве. Так что приходите, будет весело. На сегодня это все. Всем доброй ночи.